How are you guys? Welcome into my live stream. Yeah, today I've decided to shoot on a different area from the balcony, and right now it's around 9 o'clock in the night. And I noticed most of my viewers are from the States and Europe, so this is always the best time for me to do these live streams. Yeah, so let me tell me guys where you're watching from. This is Nairobi, Kenya, and it's a pleasure. I'm very happy. First of all, we are tipping the 11,000 subscribers, and we are also getting there to 6 million views. Yeah, I truly appreciate the engagement. It's really a pleasure seeing the growth on this. So today I'll talk something different, very different from what I do. Sometimes it's good to discuss these angles of how life is. It's very important at times, because maybe someone could be watching this video and would be finding it at least of help. Now I've been watching the Diddy Cassie show trial, so I decided, okay, maybe I can add some 2 cents about the matter, because it's really trending. And I urge you guys, try and follow that case so that at least you can be able to learn a few things here and there. So for those ones who are watching, you can like the video. You can also subscribe. I've seen there's a way also you can do some what do you call it? You can invite people, just like these other social media channels like TikTok, whereby if you're doing a live stream, you can invite people as well. So I noticed it's also on YouTube. So anyway, I've been watching that case, and at least there's something I decided, okay, at least I'm going to share about it, because it's really trending. And at times when these kind of things happen, there's a lot you can learn from, and especially the young people who are there. The world is really a crazy place, and it's always good to be aligned to, especially in areas of morals. Very important. So I was not so much interested in that case, but there's something which made me glued to listen to how it's going, especially in that in those trials. Maybe some might not like what I'm going to say, but it's sometimes I find it is better to just say the way things are, and at least let people know some of these views. Now, I was following that case from the social media, especially on YouTube, and I was very surprised by what I had. No, what is happening nowadays is the way the world is going. People are really craving for success, and they're willing to do almost anything to get into the top, even if it means they have to drag somebody down, or they have to they just have to do something crazy, you know. Maybe I can add like recently here in Kenya, there was a there was a there was a what do you call it? Okay, there was a group of people who are coming to Kenya, and there is always a shortage of organs. You know, the demand for organs is very high, and some people would sacrifice sacrifice, even if it means losing their lives to eke into some kind of wealth, which is not very, very good. So maybe I can start with that story. There was a group of guys who came to Kenya. This happened not long time ago, just last year in Eldoret. Eldoret actually is here, like right now, this is Nairobi. This is Nairobi County, but Eldoret is something between, it's around 400 kilometers away from here. So what is happening is there's a kind of a triad that was set to find donors, to actually find donors of organs. So what was happening, what happens is they came to Kenya, and then they decided to settle in Eldoret. And then they were targeting, here in Kenya, the low income earners, especially the young men, they prefer to ride motorcycles. It's a kind of a transportation business. They call it boda. So it means you transport people from one area to another. So what is happening? These guys came and then they stationed themselves in one of the hospitals, and they were looking for people who could actually donate their organs, especially kidneys. What happens is there's a very, very high demand for kidney transplants, especially in Europe. Yeah. And a kidney can fetch as much as $250,000, or let's say 200,000 euros. So these guys come because to get a donor, it will take you like maybe 10 years to get a donor. Yeah. So they come and they station themselves in Kenya. They station themselves in Kenya. They found a hospital where they could be doing these practices. And the sad reality is um, this this thing was really being pushed down, so that at least I think the government was involved, because the question is, why were all these people being harvested their kidneys? And for a very, very long time, they managed to harvest around 600 organs. So you can imagine that's really a lot. Because for you to get a kidney, if you're applying it in Europe, it will take you 10 years. Yeah. But now this was a trial which was set to come and take advantage of the locals. They mostly like to try and get the young people who are not able to get this income. But of course, you'll not be paid 250,000 euros or $250,000. No. They sit down with you and they tell you, okay, fine. If you're able to take like $6,000, that's okay. Okay, they also target the young people. Mostly the young people, because mostly the young people are the ones who are more vulnerable. So that was happening a lot. So they managed to harvest around 650. Yeah, around 650 organs. Then one of the stations from, I think it was Dochuela, some of these stations, they flew into Kenya and they did some investigations. And they found out that people were consenting to this, especially the young people. Someone is promised a good life, $6,000 for sure. It can't take you far. Considering the damages you can get, in your health. And some of these guys were not really able to survive that. Some passed away, and some now are managing some chronic illnesses, which they'll have this for the entire life. That's the sad part of it. So when you look at that story in Eldoret, it tells you a lot. People are always chasing for shortcuts, which is a very, very sad, you know. Greed and shortcuts. That is what is happening That is what is really, really happening. Anyway, back to the story. So I've been watching the Cassie Diddy, you know, trial. Like I said, okay, I don't advocate for any form of violence or any form of any form that can really really any form of violence. Yeah, of course, I don't advocate for that. Or if someone is really trying to take advantage one way or another, that is what really happens. So now back to the story. It's a very, very interesting trial, by the way. And the sad part of it, the way I foresee, and according to the way they are trying to argue on this, I the way I foresee, this guy could get away. One of the reasons I say is this. Uh, this this kind of sexual affairs they were having, these creepy breakups. It's like also the ladies consented to it, you know. And maybe what I can say is that the main, the main, main, the main thing that was really, really kind of trying to, um, the, I think it was just money. No, I think Didi Didi saw this lady was young and he 100% took advantage. And then for those guys who want that Hollywood lifestyle, they would do almost anything. Anything to get into this. So the question is, one, I was asking myself, I was watching one of the documentaries, and that's why I said, no, this is a red flag. How is it possible for someone? Okay, they said the lady was young, not refusing, but surely for 11 years, 11 years of this craziness, yeah, 11 years into this kind of lifestyle, for 11 good years, it doesn't really make sense. Either she was in there for the money or for the fame. She was trying to look for the fame. It's like maybe she was trying to be like Beyonce or something like that. And then Diddy is one type of to be honest, it's just a disgusting human being. No? He was not just taking advantage of the ladies, he was also taking advantage of the young men. That's why sometimes when you see these young men in those funny parties, those crazy parties, in jets, in those, those hierarchy kind of a lifestyle, there is always something. Because one thing I can say, there's nothing free in this earth. And just like the Britons say, there is no free lunch. So for someone to consensualize for 11 years, you know, it's it's crazy, you know, because the the that legal did this legal thing. They're trying to argue. This is something she was comfortable with, Of course, okay, of course, Diddy did a bad thing, but for 11 years, that, that doesn't make sense. I also remember when I was young, in my 20s, that's an age that is, you can be vulnerable to very, very, very funny things, like drugs, into alcohol. That's where now most of the young people are. That is where they destroy themselves into. But this lady was with this guy for those 11 years. And then the funny part is even the guy that right now who is married to her. In all fairness, I think he also knows this was the lifestyle that was going on. Honestly, if I was there, I mean, on my shoes, I really I think I would walk away, and I think that's exactly what he did. You know, so what I'm trying to say, guys, is do not fall for mediocrity just because you want to be on top there. You know, always just just use the due process. You know, the due process. What is the point of like I was giving you that story of what was happening to those guys in Eldoret? You know, your 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 kidney is harvested. You're given what? Is it $6,000? Okay, $6,000 for a young person in that area is a lot of money. But still, it is not sustainable. Yeah, it is not sustainable in matters of what you're going to miss in your life. Because what is going to happen? Okay, you have less one kidney. You know, it means even your immune your your body system is already compromised. Because they always say the body can do well with two kidneys. Yeah, you can still survive with only one kidney, but still, you still need those two kidneys. So, what is the point of getting that $6,000 and you're putting your life in jeopardy? So, it's a very sad thing. It's a very very sad thing. So that's what I was saying. The way that legal commission, is arguing, I foresee, I foresee the guy, I foresee him going free, scot free. I also don't think it's only about Diddy. Yeah, those are the kind of noises, those ones are those are the motorcycles they call bodad. Those ones are the ones which transport people left and right. Very very cheap transportation, and mostly the young guys, the young guys are the ones who ride those motorcycles. It's usually 150cc, you know, with a price point of around $1,200. Yeah, yeah. So that's what I was trying to say. So um, this kind of shortcuts really, really, it can be very, very dangerous. That is why, no, he was not just doing it to the ladies; he was also doing it to the young, vulnerable men. And then what usually happens, with that kind of homosexuality abuse, at the end of the day, as a man, you're left, you're kind of left empty. Your dignity has been destroyed. Then looks like your life will never ever ever be the same again. You know. So anyway, that is what I was trying to add. I don't know for the girls who are watching whether what do you see about this case? Do you see Diddy being set free or what? Because it seems to get bizarre and bizarre, you know. Because even the lady herself, it's like there's so much she knew, even from the evidences, the messages, those kind of things. Anyway, it's very, very crazy. So never ever conform into this kind of crazy lifestyles just to escape poverty, or to itch for success, you know. That's why a lot of these people, a lot of these celebrities, for them to have made it to where they are, they did a lot of nasty things, very, very nasty things. Yeah, so that was the moral vibe of the story for today. And I will continue watching. We see how it goes. Yes. And then I noticed For those who are trying to grow on YouTube, sometimes it's good to do these live streams, so that you're able to get the 4,000 watch hours. And then you should always be checking your metrics. You see where at least the flow, the flow is going. Yeah, so I've talked for 20 minutes. Not something very easy to do on a live camera, but of course, I'll continue to do it. So I would also like you guys to tell me what exactly you do in your lives. I'd also like to. I would not mind contributing to the same. Or if you ask questions, maybe I do a live stream. Just answer those questions. You can be checking on my profile. Right now I'm almost have 8 subscribers to go. So I'm trying to hit the 11 uh the 11,000 subscribers. So you guys, you feel free, go there, subscribe. Yeah, there are a lot of things I do on YouTube in matters of businesses here and there. So right now, it's almost time for me to go to bed, and I'm just chatting with you guys here. So um, anyway, it's none of my business, but at least there's nothing wrong with trying to discuss something, or add value on something, that is already there. Yeah, so that's the morality of everything. So anyway, I'm shooting from the balcony. Like I said, I thank you guys. I can see guys are coming in there. Yeah, guys are coming in there. So I've talked for around 22 minutes. Come in, guys, and be able. Feel free. Go into my profile. You can subscribe, like, or you can share. So I would like I would like to see if there are any questions on this tab. I've never ever tried to invite a third party, but I think one of these days I will. When you do that, it's one way of trying to keep the engagement, going, flowing, going and flowing, going and flowing. Yeah, so that is what I had to share, guys, today. Yeah, so thank you so much. My name is Oscar Kibet. So now that one comes to the end of our live stream. So if you can feel free, ask me questions. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya, but I live around 15 kilometers away from the city center, Nairobi. Nairobi is our capital city. So also let me know, guys, where you're watching from. I appreciate. Bye and good night.